So happy Palm Sunday. You know, the beginning of Holy Week. That's for any of you that observe. I don't have any palms to hand out, but
That's okay.
that's okay. Now, whose Sweet 16 or Elite 8 brackets got busted this weekend? Anybody follow March Madness? Okay. And I don't jump in myself, but I do pay attention to John's winnings and losings, so to speak. And for those who don't watch, March Madness is basically a basketball tournament, a college basketball tournament.
Yeah.
That lasts multiple weeks. It starts off with 68 teams and it winds down to one national champion. And it's amazing though to watch the few games that I've watched. You see that these kids have grown into elite athletes. And they look like naturals. Don't they look like naturals when they're out there? Have you ever watched any of these college basketball players?
Yeah.
How many practice shots do you think they've taken?
Oh, thousands.
Well, I calculated, I went and researched it, and probably just in their high school and college years, they've taken maybe 1 million shots,
Wow.
right? And I think we've all heard the statistics of how many shots that Michael Jordan missed versus how many he made, but we won't go there. So are they naturals? Sure, it's great. It's a wonderful advantage to be tall in glass basketball and to be coordinated, but that's not a guarantee. And they didn't only study how to play basketball. They didn't just read about it. They took their intellectual knowledge of the game and they went to the gym and they did the physical work. They put that knowledge into practice. All those reps helped them to embody how to play well. So knowing something in your mind is very different than embodying that practice. And it takes a lot of practice to become spiritually mindful as well. It's an activity just like playing basketball. You can read about it till the cows come home, but until you practice, do the work, meditating, praying, showing up with like-minded people, like at the Mindful Spiritual Center. You know, that evolution is elusive. And, you know, doesn't come right away. Sometimes it's years. Now, does anybody remember the movie The Karate Kid? The original one from the 1980s, okay. And we loved it. Now, when I say we, I mean those of us that trained in traditional martial arts systems. And Mr. Miyagi was the eccentric, unassuming apartment manager. He was not manager, handyman. He was a handyman. But of course he had a tragic past, and he was an Okinawan karate master, this unassuming little man. His character, as played by Pat Morita in the movie, his character became an icon and is still quoted today. I won't talk about the wax on, wax off quote, the dirty connotations that have evolved, but anyway. Most of that movie was pretty spot on about the martial arts, except stuff like when Mr. Miyagi's new protege, poor Daniel-san that had been bullied, actually won the all-volley karate tournament after only 3 months of training. That may be a little dramatic license, but you know, we'll allow that. But Mr. Miyagi demonstrates how knowing something with your mind is very different than knowing it in your body and your heart through experience. Now, if you did see the movie, you know that wax on, wax off are circular movements that Mr. Miyagi has Daniel-san practicing by waxing his car. Cars, multiple cars, many cars. And those movements are actually not what they seem. John, if you would give me a moment here. So thinking in terms of wax on, wax off, right? This is wax on the car and then wax off the car. When Mr. Miyagi demonstrated, when Daniel-san was just, I'm not doing this anymore. By God, Mr. Miyagi did. What is wax on, wax off? So it turned out to be powerful blocking techniques for kicks and punches and other things too. And the many repetitions and the movements that Daniel-san did during various chores built muscle memory and helped him to embody it. And it was an active meditation. I've probably done 500,000 wax on, wax offs in my martial arts career. It becomes an active meditation. That's how you embody it so that it comes out naturally. The Japanese name for this block is waoke. We call it waoke. It's a circle block. It's actually half a circle, but we say circle block, which is a talk for another day, the symbolism of the circle, the yin and yang of the waxing on and the waxing off. But that 500,000 reps is not like the million or so of the basketball kids, but I'm also not playing elite college basketball. There's a saying that it takes 10,000 repetitions of a technique to attain mastery, or maybe 50,000 depending on what source you're reading. That relates to martial arts, basketball, or any skill that you're working to acquire. Now, I haven't found any hard data to support those numbers, but there's a 2024 UCLA study that showed repeated practice causes memory circuits to crystallize and stabilize. But multiple repetitions is not the only answer. My first sensei, my first karate instructor used to say, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you could do those 50,000 reps or 100,000 or a million, whatever reps it is you're doing, but if you're doing them incorrectly or ineffectively, without feedback, error correction, etc., you'll often miss that basket. Or you'll miss the block. You know, your timing will be off. Or you won't throw a strike. John's about to go off to basketball or baseball practice. Basketball, baseball, one of those darn balls, you know. Or you'll play the wrong note. Or you'll play the right note at the wrong time. If you're a musician or if you're dancing in a show, you'll not hit your mark if you're not practicing. And it's self-reflection and being able to self-critique as well as take critical constructive criticism is such an important part of those repetitions. Reverend Lena talked last week about stepping back and watching yourself without judgment. What habits do you have? Do you respond? How do you respond to situations? And doing that without judgment is a very mindful practice, and it can be very spiritually mindful when we take a look at our habits and things. Now, in basketball, martial arts, spiritual practice, or any other endeavor, being willing to evaluate is part of your evolution. Now back to Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi did not try to rationalize or appeal to Daniel-san's intellectual left brain. I'm pointing to my left side. I'm your mirror, right? He didn't try to intellectualize with the waoke, with that circle block. Daniel felt them work when Mr. Miyagi surprised him with throwing punches and kicks and yelling. And to Daniel's surprise, the blocks happened without thought. Now, it probably would have taken more than the amount of training he had in the movie to make it come out that smoothly and quickly, but again, we'll let that go. Dramatic license. But the practice prepared him to react to the unexpected, similar to what our spiritual practice is doing. Now, I was probably about 18 years old the first time that I had been training long enough to experience, while sparring, getting into the zone. Now I've heard musicians call it the zone when you become transcendent and it's all flowing through you. It's just flowing through. You're not making any effort whatsoever. Divine mind took over my body, causing the blocks, strikes, kicks, punches to just come out at the right time without thought. I was in the flow. It took a lot more than 3 months of practice, but I knew the feeling of one, of God, of being part of divine mind. Now, I never felt this in the church I was raised in. We all get it from a different path. From a spiritual perspective, scriptures and sacred traditions, they were all written as intellectually, they were intellectual reading to help us lead into this consciousness and personal awareness and to develop habits that can lead us to God. Like, for instance, Luke 17:21 in the Bible tells us, the kingdom of God is within you. And those are just words. Until you practice the meditation, you practice the prayer, you get out with like-minded people and you worship. The message can seem esoteric when you read it. You know, like there's a hidden message that the divine isn't out there in the sky, it's in you. It's an inner state of consciousness. It's the wax on, wax off of embodied wisdom. What looks like busy work or chores, like setting aside to come to Mindful Spiritual Center or to practice your chords if you're a musician, or to practice okay 500,000 times, or all those million shots they take. It could seem like busy work, but it's actual inner training disguised as outer tasks. Trust that you are being prepared for something you can't yet see. The memory circuits stabilize and crystallize to create spiritual muscle memory. The ordinary task has become the doorway to extraordinary awareness. So wax on, wax off is the power of mindful repetition. And mastery, whether it's spiritual or physical, is not a moment of revelation usually, but a practice of returning. Sometimes it feels like a moment of revelation, but it's typically after you've been practicing for a very long time. So let's practice our spiritual wax on, wax off together.